Yesterday, I had a complete emotional breakdown. I was angry. I was frustrated. I was enraged, and I had tears. It was just everything came together at once, and I just lost my mind. I've spent 20 years living around the world, and it's been incredible. The feeling, the power of meeting new people, learning new cultures, eating different food, everything. It's, for me, the most powerful thing in the world. And I never want to stop. And it's been so strong for me because it's like a drug. It's like a drug because I don't have any possessions. I just can go. That's the freedom that makes me who I am. That's the freedom that gives me this power to just say, sure, let's try. Let's go on an adventure again. And because I don't have a car, because I don't have a house, I don't have these things weighing me down that are expensive and I just don't feel like I need. And so that freedom to go is so strong that it just keeps you for years and years. So first I went to Mexico in 2000, but it was so good that I just kept going. I traveled down Central America to South America. I stayed in Ecuador for a year, and I came back and I went to Uruguay for a year. Then I went to India for a year, and I went to Spain for a year, and I went to Serbia. I lived for a year in Serbia. And then, of course, 10 or 11 years in China. And so the power of that has been, it just fills me every single day. And suddenly, it's all been taken away. And so now I have to readjust everything inside me because I can't just pack my bag and hop on the plane and go to my next thing. Right now I have to stay put here. I can't go to China. I can't go to Europe. I can't even go to Mexico. How ironic is that? And so the rage and the frustration has been growing because I also feel like a lot of this could have been avoided, but we have such a dearth of leadership in this country. And it's to a point where it's so unbelievable that it continues to go on every single day, day after day after day, now year after year after year. And we're still in it. We're so still in it. So when I keep looking at the numbers and they keep going up and the cases go up and we have no leadership, I mean, who's going to take an American anywhere in this world? We're a disaster. So with that, I feel so enraged because it doesn't have to be this way. But what do you do in a country where all of the top leaders deny science over and over and over again?
To be very clear, we don't want CDC guidance to be a reason why people don't reopen their schools.
What can we do? We need science now to fix this, and they just don't believe in it. So instead of science, we have chaos. We have an absolute mess. The streets of this country are filled with riots and fires and people screaming, people being shot and killed because they have a mask on or they don't want to wear a mask.
Tonight, a deadly end to an ordeal that police say started with a dispute over a face mask. He later died at the hospital.
And every day, it just gets bigger and bigger and stronger and worse and worse. And everybody's abandoned the ship. The leadership is just talking about the economy while all these people are still getting sick and dying, and we have misinformation. We don't know anything that's really happening because nobody really wants to tell us. And of course, my sadness is that, my life these years has been in China. I've been with Helen for 4 years now, and suddenly, boom, she just out of my life, just disappeared. Of course, we talk, but I mean, being together. We've already been apart for 4 or 5 months, and I'm sure it's going to be another 6 months, maybe a year, who knows how long before I can get back together with her. So I have the rage from the political structure here. I have the sadness from missing my day-to-day life in China that was quite lovely. And here I am in the middle of the farms in the United States with nowhere to go. I have no reason to be here. I have no reason to be doing anything that I'm doing, but I also, So what you're seeing is someone who's been nomadic for all these years, and suddenly that's kind of been stripped away from me, and I have to reconfigure who I am on the insides and make my plan B. I don't know where to do it. Could I go back and live with my parents? Of course I could, but only for a short time. Their place is, it's their place, and I don't want to just be in it, not for 6 months or a year. I'll go back for a month, but after that, I need to keep living. I can't just keep living in this like holding pattern, waiting to go back. If it's going to take so long, I have to do stuff now. And probably the hardest thing for me isn't even Trump. It's all the people around him that continue to support him in spite of seeing what a disaster his leadership has brought us to. I mean, if you look at the streets in the United States right now, if you listen to the heartbeat of the people, do you really feel like he's made America great again? Is this great America? Because if this is great America, I'm out of here, but I can't go. Maybe I need to swim. The greatest gift I have in my life right now is you, because we're able to have this conversation, this dialogue, discussions about life and what's happening. And when I read the comments and you guys are talking to each other and this great discussion, really, it gives me a reason to keep going. And so I'm very grateful for that. Now, I'm going to finish up here, but I want to show you just a couple of short clips. There are some groups here, conservative groups, Republicans, that's Trump, right? Republican, conservative. There are some groups here that are slowly breaking away because they see the disaster that's been happening, and they've put together a bunch of these short commercials because, there's going to be an election. So now there's all this fighting back and forth with all the commercials and stuff. So I found a few that are pretty interesting, and I just want you to have another perspective of people who are actually in Trump camp as Republicans and conservatives, but they know that we need a change of leadership. So check these out. They're pretty interesting. They're short, but they get the point across. Thanks for listening. Stay healthy, stay safe, and stay with me because I'm taking this road trip north, and I'm going to go even further out into the American countryside. And I want you to come with me. I'll talk to you soon.
The president took unprecedented steps, decisive action, because of the unprecedented action that President Trump took. It is among the reasons why the threat to Americans of coronavirus remains low. And I have to tell you, standing here today, I couldn't be more proud to stand alongside this president. We believe we are slowing the spread. We slowed the spread. We flattened the curve. We saved lives.
I think by Memorial Day weekend, we will largely have this coronavirus epidemic behind us.
And again, when you have 15 people, and the 15 within a couple of days is going to be down to close to zero, 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 close to zero.
Paid for by the Lincoln Project, which is responsible for the content of this advertising.